Chip, chip.
Chip, chip.
Here's your water.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
So welcome to the van.
Welcome to the van. We don't have a name for the van yet.
No, it's our home. Welcome, welcome home. But we should have a name for the van. It will come.
We wanna talk about our experience of moving out into our van and how what we have learned on this journey thus far, and hopefully help you and inspire you to do the same if you want to, and answer any questions you might have. We have found some questions that might be of interest, and we have learned a lot.
Yep. We've also noticed, just telling our friends and our close community about what we're doing, there's a lot of people getting interested and have a lot of questions about it. So that's kind of why we also wanted to do this, because we have a lot of questions still, and we realized that people are interested to know more. It's
actually, I was surprised by how much interest there is in what we're doing. We spent, let's tell some background info. 3-4 years ago, I used to run a conference and work as a lifestyle coach, and we were kind of working together. We were kind of flirting, you know, and you were in Australia and traveling around the world, and I was also traveling, doing my thing, and at one point we ended up in Thailand working together, but we were kind of half-assing the business and rather wanting to just be free and party and
yeah, we thought we wanted to work with that specific thing, but I think for me, I actually just wanted the lifestyle that product I thought would bring me.
Right.
So I kind of started in the wrong end, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of reset. I came home to Norway. I had a big pile of bills that I had to pay, and I was in debt, and then some unfortunate circumstances happened, and I got depressed, and yeah, I took a 9-to-5 job at a traveling company, which was interesting because I went down in salary a lot, and but I needed a stable income and safety in my life. And I worked there for a year, and then I got another job, really good paid career counseling coaching job, which I worked there for a year as well. But I always knew that a 9-to-5 lifestyle, working in an office, was never for me. So I always had an exit strategy. Sometimes it was super difficult to get by, just day by day, because it felt so distant. My dream of living this lifestyle, this freedom, I think, is a very valuable common value that we have, and that free lifestyle seemed so far away. But I think during that period of working in a traveling store and working as a career counselor, we constantly were looking at videos of other people living what we like to call the home-free lifestyle, and either from a van, from a boat, or just being an online entrepreneur that has the possibility to be anywhere at any time. So that really resonated with us, and we were inspired. We watched videos of people, renovating their Sprinter vans, or Volkswagen, or even boats and small houses and alternative ways of living.
Yeah, and to me it was during that time, that was kind of like a dream of mine, but it seemed very far away. And I also came to Norway believing that I could just, from one day to the next, become an online entrepreneur and make a lot of money and travel all the time. But that didn't really happen, and I took a job in several restaurants and just working and trying to save money, but it was hard because I still wanted to do things when I had time off,
right,
and travel and stuff. So but we connected in the way that we always had that same kind of bigger goal and bigger vision, and started looking at the videos and just get inspired. But to me it was like, I just need to do this first and then I can move into a van, or I need to save up this amount of money. But realizing that that wasn't going to happen, everything one day just came into place and you just decided to buy it.
Right.
To buy the van after, you know, the universe kind of set it up for us without us knowing it. And then all of a sudden we bought it.
I think succeeding in this and life in general has a lot to do with being adaptable to what kind of opportunities shows up anytime, any place. You know, being adaptable, I think, is so important. And I was fortunate to be able to make an offer for this car at the time, and I had the money, the opportunity was there. I found the car, went to the guy's place. 50 other people had looked at the car, so I kind of like, I put in my sales mentality and just went for it. It was outside my comfort zone, but definitely something that I don't regret. I think another thing you said about expenses in Norway. Norway is one of the richest countries in the world, but it's also one of the most expensive countries in the world. So expenses, I mean, you can pretty easily make a lot of money in Norway, but it's very easy to get into a lifestyle where you have a lot of expenses, where you make a lot of money, but also you spend a lot of money. Very easy. It's so expensive here. Like if you want to go to a restaurant and 2 people eat, if you have dessert, maybe a drink and a coffee, you'd spend at least $100 easy just for a meal. There are cheaper options, and we, you know, that's also stuff that we're learning to find reasonable ways of living. That's also one of the reasons why we kind of want to live in this car and be able to go somewhere else when we want to, because we might have a time in our life when we want to focus on creating a product, for example, and don't have to worry about if we should go to that restaurant or drive for half an hour to find a cheaper one, right? Because it's such a big part of our economy. Yeah. So that's kind of also the reason to why we're doing this, I guess. Totally. Is to don't have to focus on that kind of stuff. Focus on the things that we actually want to do. Yeah. I think we both don't care too much for having the perfect soft bed with a big house and my own room for my own stuff and your room for your hobbies and you know, stuff like that. We really don't care about that. So that's one thing that you have to ask yourself, like how much are you willing to pay, how much are you willing to give away for comfort, because this is not necessarily a comfortable way of living in the sense of what you might be used to. It's actually surprisingly comfortable just to live in this bed, and we've been talking about it many times, like we're sleeping so good, and I think it has to do with just feeling the confidence of grabbing life, you know, and going for it. And and also knowing that when I wake up, I go outside straight away. I don't wake up in a messy home that you know, I need to do the laundry today, and then I need to do this, and that's the bills. So and you know, you just wake up and you're free, and you can do whatever you want from the moment you wake up, and that changes the whole day, which changes the whole week, which changes, you know, your whole energy after a while. That's a game changer. That's a game changer. Like, I don't know if we are conscious of it, but when you wake up in your house, you have so many thoughts that are connected to the things and the rooms that you are always surrounded by. So when you wake up and you go outside, it's like there is complete abundance. It's nature. You have so few attachments that it's not holding you back, like the classic Fight Club quote, the things you own end up owning you.
And you see that when you don't have a lot of things around. You really see that when you let go of the stuff. That's when you can like, whoa, realize the difference.
I think that transitions perfectly into so when we bought the car in winter time, I just had the dream and I saw the opportunity, and then that was the period we were looking at videos, reading articles and listening to podcasts of people, of you guys, and in the Vanlife community and other people who are living a free life, so to speak. And then it took a while until there was a lot to do with the van.
We were both working at the time.
We were both working full-time jobs, and we had to plan our exit strategy and figure out how we were going to get the finances in check, have control over that, and in general get accustomed to the idea. You know, it's very comfortable. We were living very comfortably there at some point. I made $6,000 a month, and you made two and a half.
Yeah.
And then that's before taxes. So after taxes, let's say we had $4,000 left, and our rent was like 1,000, and then we had maybe another 1,000. So we had like 3,000, let's say $2,000 a month to spend on anything we want, with all the expenses paid. So we were living very comfortable. So getting accustomed to the idea that we're going to completely change our lifestyle to a very simplistic one and cut our income basically is a bit challenging. We started planning.
Like, it wasn't like we were sitting down 2 hours every day to plan how we were going to do it. It was more of just keep the momentum up, inspire ourselves and believing in the dream and believing that it was possible.
Right.
Also, you know, that was the kind of preparation that we did. And we didn't start building on the car until it was like spring, so we could be outside and, you know, do all these things. So the winter time was more like, okay, we have the van, so we can do whatever we want, but what do we actually want to do with it now? Do we want to live in it? Do we want to just travel with it when we want, you know? And getting someone to live in our apartment while we were traveling, and it all kind of fell into place after a while. Because I think we just kept it so open, and we didn't have to have it a certain way either. We were open to all possibilities. And then opportunities show up, you know, when you open up a little bit, then all of a sudden that sorts itself out, and, you know, we were finding out how we wanted to do it.
It's very true. I think life is a feeling process, and the actual know-how, the actual steps is very simple. It's like, you know your own situation, you know what you want your situation to be, and then fill in the gap, you know. Ask the questions, watch these videos, you know, read the articles, and think like, what do I need in order to get where I want to go? Like, it's but in order to have that thinking process, I think you need clarity, you need that kind of what you said, be inspired. If you're not inspired, if you think it's a huge problem, it's going to be a huge problem.
Because I think if you can see that the house, you can find out. You have Google, you have all the answers to all the questions that you will ever have about living in a van. But if you don't have the why in place, that's when you can create problems for yourself, or unnecessary ones. Because if you know exactly why you want to do this, then, you know, having that amount of clothes or that amount of clothes will not be an issue. It's not going to be a question even, you know?
You have to be able to like put the energy where it'll give you results. You know, put the money where your mouth is. If you're constantly buying new clothes or spending, like, take a hard look at your expenses. I had to learn this. Tess is way better than me in money management, and I had to learn it firsthand. I had to sit down, and I hated to look at bills. I hated to go through my finances, and we have managed to together make it an ongoing thing. Like every week or every other week we sit down and we at least get the overview so that we feel in control, and then we can take action of like, where do we want to put our money, you know, what kind of assets do we want to create, learn the difference between liability and asset. Like having a house might be the biggest liability in your life because you thought it was a good idea, because you thought it was a good investment, and maybe the price of the house will go up in a few years, but is it really worth it? Like, is it really an asset, or are you spending all of your time making sure that the house runs smoothly? So all of a sudden you have lost all your time
and energy.
Yeah, and you're constantly just slowly becoming a slave, a sheep in the herd of people who are just trading their time working for some guy. You know, so try to be smart with your time. Time is your most valuable assets. I know you heard it before, but really, like, think about what do I really want to spend my time on? How do my perfect day look, or how do my perfect week or month, or like how do I actually want to, when I wake up, do I want to do exactly the things that I feel like doing in the moment, or do I want to be committed to something? So for me, the waking up to go to work for someone else when I could do it myself just seemed counterintuitive and opposite. Stupid. Yeah.
But I mean, it's scary sometimes. I can wake up and be like, oh, I don't have enough money. What am I gonna do? I don't know how I'm gonna get I don't know when I'm gonna get paid next time.
Right.
And that can be scary, but you have to believe in the trust of figuring, like, now we have so much time. We can figure out a way to make some money if we have to. We have time to do that, and we don't have to worry about, you know, we don't have any expenses except for the car. Well, if we don't have enough money for a month, then we can stay in the car and figure something out. Survive.
That is super important, to see the value of your time and
what you can do in a day if you have the time. You know,
I think when we had the 9-to-5 job, we didn't have any energy left after getting home from work. And I think you can recognize this in your own life as well, that when you get home from work, you're done. Like, forget a side hustle. That's a myth. To me, it's a myth. Like, I can't, when I want to do something, I want to do it. I want to go all in. I want to do it properly. So I need my time, my energy, my resources, you know, the morning routine, the meals throughout the day, just to balance everything. You know, I want to have time to work out. I want to have time in the evening. You know, it's just, you want to set up your life the way that you want to design your own lifestyle. So that's huge. And it's scary, especially if you're used to getting that monthly paycheck and you can't see how else you're able to survive. I think one of the biggest learning lessons you can do in your life, and I really mean this, if you haven't done this yet, this will be the biggest learning point in your life, is quit your job and see how you will thrive and survive if you have to survive. It's just a matter of putting yourself in the situation where you have to survive, and your neurons and thoughts and your network and your ideas and everything will point in the direction that you need in order to make it work. And that's just how it happens. It is,
and it's hard to believe if you haven't experienced it. But once you've experienced it, you can't look any other way.
True.
You know.
So you need inspiration, and then you need the balls to actually jump in the cold water. And when you're in the water, you're gonna
learn how to swim. You know? You will.
Yep. Like, so many things we've learned from this experience already. Like, I don't know how to fix a car, or, you know, we took off the roofs and then we learned what's inside, to how to keep the temperature good, and like we've learned stuff about gas and like electricity, and about the different oils in the car, and so many things. Like, it's so many things that we've learned, that we're connecting more and more dots, and I knew nothing about it before we started. And it's awesome. Once you get going and you build that momentum, you start seeing it's fun, and then you start actually achieving small stuff, whether it be just painting the roof and then putting the roof back in. You have achieved something, and then you build on that confidence, and then you're all of a sudden in the mastering process. And if you keep going, you're gonna be become better and better, and then you build more confidence and become this positive spiral, and all of a sudden you're inspiring other people to do the same, and we inspire each other. Yeah, it goes from there.
So, but that's kind of like the the bigger picture, why we're doing this, you know, freedom and letting go of all the commitments and stuff.
Yeah, we tried to get some find some questions that we wanted to answer on Sunday, was it? If you're gonna plug the live stream, I think on Sunday we want to do a live stream.
Sunday we're doing a live stream.
Are we here on Sunday? Am I here on Sunday? Okay, cool. On Sunday at 7.
So on Sunday at 7, we're gonna do a live stream and try to answer all the questions that come up at that live stream.
Yeah.
Really got me, really got me, really got me.
Okay, so questions: how to work in van life? How do we support van life? How do we support this lifestyle?
So for us, it's kind of as I see it, there's 2 parts of this box called income. And for us, working online before, we have experience in coaching and content creation and marketing and sales, and we have done a lot of different things online to make an income. Not only selling other people's stuff, but actually creating products that we think can be valuable to other people. So we have that kind of like in our back pocket, and that's something that we want to continue to do.
Yeah.
As for now, we've also, what do you call it? We've applied for sponsorships.
Yep.
We are collaborating with a production company that wants to help us get this first part of the trip on TV as a television show. We might get some funding from there. So we're just basically reaching out to people that we think want to support this, because it's not only about us, you know, we want to make something bigger out of this and show people what we have been talking about a little bit.
Right. To live freely and from your own creation and in tune with nature and simple and what's it called, waste free or like minimalistic. Yeah, and so we have we know some about online marketing and entrepreneurship. We have invested in some funds and especially cryptocurrencies. And for those of you who are skeptical, read up on it. Peer-to-peer transactions and is the future. Whether it takes 2 months or 20 years, we try to think what's gonna happen in the future and then invest in it. It's one of the best ways to make a passive income. And, I mean, read Rich Dad Poor Dad to learn about investment and assets versus liabilities. So investments, and then we have I'm making websites for people, which I love to do, and I'm trying to get some clients here and there. And then we also rent out a bungalow on Zanzibar. My mom and stepdad they own a house on Zanzibar, which I'm fortunate enough to be able to manage. So I'm renting that out on Airbnb at least until fall, when I'm hopefully are able to buy the house. If not, there's other possibilities. So Airbnb is a great way because we can work off the phone and rent out. And then
we have so that's what
and
we're
then
doing
I do coaching, life coaching. So I think that's like 5 or 6 different income possibilities and streams that are ongoing.
And then, like we said before, just having the time and the freedom and not going to a job every day. I notice I get ideas every day. Oh, maybe we can create that product. Maybe we can do that. Maybe that can, you know, it's amazing how creativity has more room in our lives at this point. So I'm not worried about that, because I know I can go with that idea and try that out because I have the time, right? But I can also do that thing and that thing and that thing, and I can get sponsors from there. But if I don't, then I can actually create the product that I've been wanting to create.
Right.
You know, so the ideas that comes every day just gives me the confidence that it will all work out.
Yeah.
And we do have a backup, and we have a backup.
Yeah.
You know.
it's so like I remember when we had jobs, the false sense of security of having a job is that we're buying into the idea that we need the job. It's actually not true. I've lived many years as a solo entrepreneur with, you know, 15 different projects every year, some of them working great, some of them not working, and I was always able, I'm still alive and I'm thriving. So the job is a myth. Like don't necessarily buy into it. If you love your job, awesome. If that's your style, go rock it, but it's definitely not necessary. How expensive is van life? That's a question we might not be able to answer 100% yet, but I mean, we pay for the car approximately $150 a month for insurance, and then 20-40 bucks for car tax, or what it's called, I don't know what it's called. And the fuel is pretty expensive in Norway, but we don't have to drive around that much. So when we are, obviously that's a lot. When we're not, there's nothing. So
it's kind of hard to say the expenses of van life, because it's very different if you are in one place a lot of the time of a month, or if you're traveling a lot, or and where you're doing it. And also we have this summertime in Norway, everyone is on vacation, so a lot of our friends have their apartments just standing there for us to borrow if we want. So we have been doing that a bit. And you know, it's just more like day by day. I think a monthly budget, we'll do it in one video for sure, but it would almost makes more sense to have a day by day or week by week budget, because it's so diverse. Like we could stop all our expenses almost not 100%, but almost all our expenses, and live super simple for a few weeks, or we could like upgrade and live nice and travel around and do a lot of exciting stuff and have a huge budget. So but it's,
for now, we really don't know.
We don't know, but it's way cheaper than having an apartment.
Oh yeah, way cheaper.
Way cheaper. How to shower?
We have bought like a $5 shower. That's like a black bag that gets hot in the sun. So we have it in the ski box on top of the car. It works great. It actually works great. Like it gets really warm. So you have a warm. It's not strong current. We have thought about maybe buying another one with which pump. It's like a tiny little pump, and it pumps up to a shower, and you can just pump from the water bottle we have here.
Super easy. You can have a water dunk. I don't know how to say it, like a big one, and then you can buy like a pump with a shower head for nothing, and then you have a shower. Like, it's super easy. And we chose this alternative, and we'll see if we stick with it or if we change. But
thus far we only used that once. Other times we either used showers at our friends' houses that we're borrowing, or we have used at a gym, and then we have we swim in the ocean. Like the last 3 years before doing this, I can't remember the last time I swam in the ocean. I think it was with my sister in my hometown years ago. And now we're swimming often. It's so awesome. Like, I love it.
But as a girl, I used to think that I needed to wash my hair like 4 times a week, or every other day, or every day. But that's not entirely true. If you get used to, like, our body adapts. And we don't go around smelling. No. Just because we don't take that hot shower and wash ourselves with soap every day. We're more of like, we just get naturally clean, if that makes sense. Like swimming in the ocean, the salt water is perfect if you want. Like, it's good for your skin. I feel much more clean, actually.
It's about giving the right kinds of fuck. If you feel terrible and you need a shower, we have the option. But in general, we haven't really needed that a lot. And especially because this is summertime, and one of the big reasons why we're doing this is because we want to be in the sun. So we're gonna drive when it gets colder in Norway. We're gonna drive down south to be in the sun. So we will always have the ability to find somewhere to take a swim, or we'll have the ability to warm up the shower. So there's been like two mornings or something where we're like, whoa, I really need to go to the toilet and I don't know where. So that's something you need to think about. We have thought about getting like a porta potty thingy, but I don't think we're gonna do it. Maybe not. Usually it's good, and if we think about parking somewhere where we can get a toilet, it's good. And yeah, it's nice to get up in the morning and just again be outside. So,
and if we're in nature, then that's not an issue at all. It's healthier, it's actually way more hygienic to do number one and number two outside, and it's just, you know, it's part of nature anyways.
Right.
I think that can be, for some people, be like, ooh, I don't know if I could handle that, but it's nothing to handle, it's just take a shit.
Yeah,
you know, it's really that simple.
Yeah, don't be a bitch about it. How do we do laundry? Thus far we have used when we have access to a house or apartment, we just use that, so we don't have a good answer for that.
And also we use our clothes longer before we wash them.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not dirty, it's not dirty.
Right.
When you're at home, it's so easy to use it for one day and then put it in the basket and do the laundry on Sunday.
And it's interesting it's interesting how some stuff that seems so important just falls in priority when you do something that you love and you focus on what's important to you, and I'm way more inspired now than I was just a couple months ago, and I'm way more in the moment, and I'm having more fun, and like I don't care, I couldn't care less like if my t-shirt is not perfectly clean.
Yeah, like look at the kids in Africa, for example.
Look at the kids in Africa.
Like if I told them, oh, you can't go outside, your shirt is going to be dirty, they would laugh at me.
Right.
And be like, you don't have your priorities straight.
Right.
So it's just, yeah. But I don't know, there are things you can buy that you can do the hand washing with like a spinner that spins the clothes around and stuff, but we haven't thought about buying that yet because we're not sure we need it.
We haven't had the need yet. When I was 15, my parents drove me and my sister, we drove through Africa, from Norway to Africa, and we had this big huge bottle type thing that where we just took water from the river, we had some hand wash, and then we put it on the roof when we drove, so we kind of washed it. Other times we just washed it in the river and then dried it in the sun. I guess bring some hand wash and you're good. You're gonna have so much time, that's the cool part. You're not spending 8, 9, 10, 11 hours a day commuting and working for someone else, so you can spend so much time hand washing the dishes, and you're actually gonna enjoy it because you're just spending time. You're not stressing, you're not constantly running the hamster wheel, so you're gonna enjoy doing the dishes, you're gonna enjoy doing fixing the little things and spending time on
and because you don't have job to go to on Monday, you don't have to do the laundry on Sunday, so therefore you can wait until you find that perfect river where you can do it, or you can wait until you find a really cheap laundry shop. So
travel insurance, health insurance, I mean health insurance, I don't know about that, but travel insurance, we have one called Gouda. It's like I think $160 for a year, a full year, or $200 or something.
And that's also very difficult to say depending on where you're from. It differs so much, but 10 minutes on Google making some research on what's the best insurance for you, you'll figure it out. It shouldn't be that expensive.
What kind of food do we make? We have casseroles and pans and dishes and stuff here, and we have a small little kitchen that's on gas that we can use inside. We're gonna buy one that we can use outside because I like to make food and I want to have some more. I want to be able to stand up and
yeah, we have a small fridge, but it's small, and we have the boxes under the bed where we can storage like canned food and stuff. So a lot of canned food. I guess we're going for you know, oats and nuts and things that we can have laying outside without
Seeds,
getting bad for a long time. Oat milk.
Oat milk
instead of regular milk.
Lasts longer. Like,
that's also a process, and I think if you think food is an issue, then you know it's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not an issue if you have. For me, storage was important. If we have storage for food, you will find the food that you can store.
Yeah. And it's just a few of the items that you need to have in the fridge, and that we prefer to have in the fridge. So that's easy. And I think also what's it called, lentils and beans that you can just leave and put in water, and yeah, so I think we'll live. Thus far we have only made healthy food. We are really healthy when it comes to food. I think we'll just keep that going, and you know, we have time to make food. We don't need to buy fast food that's you know, we just have time. I
saw a video and people were talking about it's so easy to go out and eat instead of cooking, but I'm not worried that we're going to do that actually, because especially when we are on a limited budget, sometimes it's cozy to cook in here, and we do have the time, and we need to be creative, and we are being creative, because you know, we can spend a day figuring out what we're going to eat for the next week and make that into a fun thing, you know, and plan it and have, you know, time and energy again. It comes back to that all the time. You have the time, you have the energy, and the inspiration will come to figure all these things out day by day, and that's fun. That's super fun.
And then there's the electricity. We found a second-hand solar panel with two huge 105 ampere batteries that we have in here. Our friend Tore, he has helped us tremendously in getting the car ready in terms of the engine and in terms of the electricity, and he's just a super awesome multi skilled guy who just he knows everything. So if you know anyone who are handy, reach out to them, because they might want to help you. Like they might actually enjoy helping you, because he just thinks it's awesome that we're doing this, and he loves building cars and stuff. So we spent 2 weeks working on this car, and then another week, another time, and some here and there, and just getting it ready. So we built here power outlets, and that goes, the solar panel charges the two batteries that we have behind here, and then they send the 12 volt to two inverters that converts it to 240 or 230 volt, and then we have you know, cigarette outlet, car outlet, and then obviously we have the starting battery in front. And when we drive, there's a switch that turns the dynamo, the car charging the starting battery, but also these two batteries. So these two batteries are charged both from the solar panel on the roof and when the car is driving. That's awesome. And thus far it works all right. We're getting used to how much power we can use, but thus far we're good.
Yeah, so basically
we have a lot of equipment to charge. We have cameras and laptops, and
we do. But so we try and what we have now is the solar panel and the battery, and the gas for the fridge. So we're not using electricity for the fridge, but the gas.
Right.
But we have a lot of equipment, so we try to be smart about it and charge them whenever we
are around in the cafes, in apartments, with family, etc. We bought a router. Actually, I was given a router in Switzerland at one point. So we have the router, we have a mobile router, small router, and then we pay like $100 a month to get unlimited mobile Wi-Fi, and it's supposed to work in entire Europe. It's from the biggest Norwegian company, Telenor, which I know they're cooperating, and they're huge, so they're cooperating with companies all over Europe. Hopefully it's gonna work all right. In Norway it works amazing, like it's like ridiculously good, so hopefully it'll work good in other places as well. It's 100 gigabytes download, and then we can upgrade it to 200 for like $30. So that's 200 gigabyte of download on a fast mobile, the fastest mobile Wi-Fi that you can get.
And also what I think is important in all of this is that you need to be adaptable. Like if we all of a sudden have run out of data or electricity, then we're gonna have to adapt.
Right.
But it's easy to do that when you're in a car. Not only can you drive anywhere and actually change your setting, but you can also, you know, just, okay, we have to go to the beach today then. You know what I mean? Like you just have to adapt your days until, like, to where you are and what kind of possibilities you have.
Very true.
So basically, to me, the biggest thing has been realizing what I do want to do, which is not what someone else tells me to do at a job. The job was great and everything, and I'm happy that I've had jobs in my life. But to me, the freedom of waking up in the morning and do what I want is it just gives me more. Even if it's just, let's say it's just for 1 year and then I realize I want a job again, I'm gonna learn so much and it's gonna be worth it either way. So that's like, you know, just have the big why you're doing it, and then all of these details will, you know, we didn't know how the fridge worked before we knew, you know. We didn't know how to get the electricity in. We didn't know how to find a solar panel. We didn't know how to storage the food. But because we knew it was going to be worth it, because of the bigger picture, we figured it out.
Some details I forgot to mention, the solar panel. Like if we were to buy all of that new, it would probably cost us $1,000. We found it secondhand for $150.
Yeah, go buy things secondhand. Reach out to the community. It's growing by the day. It's so exciting because not only the Vanlifer community, but the kind of, let's call it, hippie community, or people that are looking to live a more free and alternative life. It's super huge, and just, you know, on Facebook even. So many people want to help. So many people. So many cool tips and tricks and life hacks and car hacks and ways of doing this that we're just getting started. Like we have a Volkswagen Transporter and it was already rebuilt. I bought it from a surfer who had like it's like surfboard length under the bed. So everything is like made for surfing here. He was super cool. He liked that we're actually going to use the car for this, so he was more willing to sell it to us. And so we were lucky when it comes to rebuilding. We didn't have to rebuild anything. If I fall in love with this lifestyle as much as it seems like I am, I want to, you know, build one from scratch, and then you know, gonna learn so much. You know, that's the coolest part. That's the coolest part. And also, if you're Norwegian or Swedish, we did a podcast a couple of weeks ago where we talked more about why we're doing this and kind of our big why.
Right.
So you can listen to it in the link. We'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. All right. On Sunday, we're gonna do a live stream where we answer your questions and interact live. So please sign up for that or something. If we're gonna find a link or whatever, just keep yourself posted with our material. Please contact us if you have any questions.
Follow us
follow us on social media, and
there will be content and videos, and
yeah, we'll make videos. We have a drone, we have cameras, we're inspired. We're gonna travel a lot. We hopefully are making this into a TV series.
I'm excited to show not only like today we went on a safari, and today we went to the beach, and today we did all the fun things. I want to show everything, like even when we struggle, because we're gonna jump into challenges and adventures and unexpected events, and I want to share it all.
Right.
So yeah, if you're interested, just keep your eyes out.
Okay, we love you.